Drivers, start your engine!
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One last chance down the back straightaway into corner of a 3, out of the corner of a 4. Looking to drag race back to the start finish line, but no one will catch him as the 77 of Dalton Wicker will pick up the checkered flag.
This is the Hypershift Racing League on Peacemaker Gaming.
Rubber burning engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hypershift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafting on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a down, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a down, the glory we take. Tire spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fight. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hypershift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's delight. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker scream
gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway. As another amazing Thursday night means it's another amazing night of racing action here in the Hypershift IMB Racewear Cup Series. So for each and every one of these drivers, they have done their practice, they've worked on their race cars, they made sure that they are feeling very, very comfy in behind the wheel here at Auto Club Speedway. And now we roll in to our qualifying session where drivers are going to be looking to lay down their quick times out there on the speedway, trying to put themselves into a really good position out there on the racetrack, trying to potentially start up towards the front of the field, help their chances and help their odds of potentially getting a good, solid finish and maybe even parking themselves up into victory lane here this evening. As a lot of these cats out there on the racetrack, you do see Adam Boughton out there, you do see Anthony Ludi in his beautiful Robin Hood number 95 ride. Here's Michael Carter as well in that 18 machine out there on the speedway in the discount tire ride. Gage Wenzel in the Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches number 36 rolls out there on the speedway. His teammate in the 14 of Mr. Connor Fuge, he's out there. Here comes John Osborne in that G-Shock 11. Oh man, he had a great run last week, and man, he is looking to try to recreate whatever he found at the the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, and hoping that he can try to put himself into a winning position here this evening after qualifying on the pole, going to the rear of the field to start the race. I know he'd love to jump up here, get a better starting spot, give himself more of a chance to battle for the win here this evening. Boughton though, so far with the quick time, and it's Tyler Chronister. Chronister with a great lap, jumps up and in to position number 2. So for Chronister, really good first lap out there. We'll see if he can find a little extra speed here on his second lap. But now it's Anthony Ludi. Ludi's second lap finds a little bit of extra speed. He leapfrogs Chronister and up into position number 2 on the speedway. Can Chronister beat him? Jump back in front of him, down across the line. Where does Chronister line up here? It looks like he runs about 3/10 slower, so he'll stay in that third position. Kent Mueller in that powered by AWS, the Amazon Prime machine, there in the 4th position. Osborne falls back into about that 6th spot on the speedway as Jack Simpson out there. There's Simpson, looks like he's going to jump up into 9th. Doug Denise into position number 7. Jaden Newson, his qualifying run's going to come to an end, unfortunately just outside the top 10. And for that Ford Racing, number 77, looks like Dalton Wick are going to be back in about the 13th spot here as Dylan Huso with a good lap. Dylan jumps up into position number 2 now, knocking Anthony Ludi off of the front row. Dwayne Furtick jumps up into position number 4. He'll look to continue to find some more spots out there on the racetrack, but looks like his qualifying effort is going to come to a close here this evening. But man, what a run, what a drive already for a lot of these cats, man. A lot of quick times, a lot of fast times out there on the speedway, and I know for each and every one of them, they're going to continue to look to try to find all that speed, hoping to try to find their way up and into victory lane. And for the Allegiant Inc. Racing number 51 ride of Dwayne Furtick, he was able to pick up the win last Thursday, so getting another good starting spot here this afternoon. Maybe Dwayne can go 2 for 2 and try to put himself right back up into victory lane here this evening. Jaden Newson, he'll be looking to try to get that 2410 esports ride back up into victory lane as our only 2 regular season winners so far here this afternoon. Currently sitting in that 4th position for Dwayne Furtick, and for Jaden Newson back in about that 13th spot. Brian King is out on the racetrack. Looks like he's going to go for a wild ride as his qualifying run's going to end back in about the 17th position. We have 30 drivers that have taken a qualifying lap. We're still waiting for Jeff Carson, Mason Tucker, and Michael Sheffield to try to get their laps in here this evening. As of right now, they're not rolling out there, and it looks like our qualifying session is going to come to a close, so they will not get a qualifying run in. So that's a bit of a heartbreaker there for Carson, Sheffield, and Tucker, as they'll have to start at the back of the pack. But out in front and picking up the pole by almost 1/10 of a second, showing a ton of speed out of that 94 ride, it's Adam Boughton with the pole here this evening. and he'll get ready to set us loose. We'll get ready to go to battle here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway as we'll wait for all these drivers to load in down pit side, as each and every one of these drivers going to get ready to rumble, get ready to go to battle for, I believe it is 100 laps on the docket. 100 laps here of racing action, and for a lot of these drivers, that's, a good amount of time. 80% fuel, so I imagine that we're going to probably make it about 30 laps or so, and then we're going to start to see these guys come down pit road, starting to make these pit stops. So you got to really game plan here on what your strategy may be, where you want to run, how far you want to push it, because it could become an option if you can run 35 laps. Maybe you can make this on 2 pit stops, and you only have to worry about those 2 pit stops. But tires are going to be really the main goal here, I think, for a lot of these drivers. Track position and fresh tires could potentially win you this race, and that's where getting this good qualifying run really sets the stage here for your day at the Speedway. As the 94 of Boughton will start in the pole position here this evening for the B-Main Podcast 200 here this evening. Huge shout out there to the B-Main Podcast for coming in and being one of our supporters here in the Hypershift Racing League, a proud sponsor of the league, and we'll see a couple of those B-Main Podcast rides out there on the racetrack trying to put themselves up and in to victory lane. But for Boughton, starts out front, it is Dylan Huso who will start there to his outside. Anthony Ludi will start in that 3rd position, and last week's winner, the 51 of Dwayne Furtick, will start in position number 4 on the Speedway. Starting back in position number 5 in the Walmart 99, that is Tyler Chronister, and to his outside, it will be the number 18 machine of Michael Carter. Starting in the 7th position on the racetrack, it is the 8 ride of Kent Mueller to his outside in the G-Shock number 11, that is John Osborne. Starting in position number 9 in the Sirius XM Toyota, it is the 40 of Doug Denison, rounding out our top 10. In the Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches number 36, it's Gage Wenzel who rounds out the top 10 to start this feature event. You will have one of his teammates in Jack Simpson starting right there behind him in 11th, and to his outside starting in 12th will be the number 77 ride of it's the 7 ride of Corey Denk, who will start there in 12th. Jaden Newsom will start in 13th, and then we do see the 77 of Dalton Wicker, then Richard Wolfsifer there in position number, I do believe this is the 15th starting spot on the racetrack. You'll have the 58 of Jonathan Cofield there to his outside in 16th. Then we do see Dalton Wicker, Brian King, Max Koss, Matt Sisler there in about the 20th position out there on the Speedway. Gavin Grubbs, Dylan Humans back there in 22nd. Then we do see Drew King, Ryan Chronister, Connor Fuge, Cedric Ingram, Matt Walters, Brandon Warlick, Daniel Wicker, Jeff Carson, Tommy Pulte, Trevor Massetti, Mason Tucker, and Michael Sheffield bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Auto Club Speedway as Adam Boughton out in front, and look at these drivers spread out down the back straightaway. 2, 3, a little bit of 4 wide racing action back throughout the field, but it's Boughton who's looking to just lay down another qualifying lap out there on the Speedway. Give him a bit of a gap in trying to run away with it as he will lead our first lap of the day as the caution flag will be displayed. So the caution flag going to come out as well, as it looks like there is a bunch of drivers tore up. Walter's already down pit side here. We do see Sheffield just being able to get through it, but let's take a look back here. Ryan Chronister is tied up in it. The 11 right of John Osborne as well. Heartbreaker there for Osborne. Looks like Cedric Ingram, Richard Wolfsifer there as well, also getting tied up here in this first caution flag of the day. Now for Osborne and Chronister, these guys started up a little closer to the front of the field here. Now the 11 kind of slid back off the get-go, and you already see Wolfsifer turned around here. Wolfsifer, unfortunately, already sideways. Let's see if he gets a little help here. Looks like some tight racing. He gets a good run here on Kent Mueller. And I think as he tries to check up, the 78 ride of Jaden Newson's right there. He's not expecting to check up, and it looks like, yeah, Jaden's going to get into the back end of him right there. That kind of shows him up the racetrack, and as he kind of goes up the track, him and Mueller kind of leaning on each other, and finally the rear end steps out there on that stance build. SimWrap Market number 56, and nowhere to go for Osborne as he drives into the back end of him there. Big hit for him. Actually, looks like the 39 ride going to get some good damage there as well. Pretty solid smack right there for the 39, and a lot more drivers getting a piece of this one here. Let's take another look here. Let's jump up into the let's go to the blimp mode here, because we're really going to get a good look at it here from the beautiful Peacemaker blimp out there. There's the contact from the 78. They're trying to save it, trying to keep it going forward, and unfortunately, that's where they all just start piling in. So the 39 getting some serious damage there. Then we did see it's Ryan Chronister there. Looks like him and the 32 are going to run into each other here as Chronister sees this happening. He tries to drive down the racetrack, and as he does, he ends up clipping this 32 machine of Cedric Ingram, and unfortunately for Ingram, Chronister, they're sideways. Here comes the 14 ride. Unfortunately, solid hit right there for that 14 machine as well, but up into the outside fence goes the 32 ride, and then everyone else still just trying to find their way through this, trying to keep themselves out of the action here, and unfortunately for a couple of these drivers, take a look back here. Obviously, for a lot of these cats, they're seeing this contact. They're seeing these drivers run into this issue. We're going to take a look at the 10 ride here, as I do believe the 10 machine, if I can find him here in the overlay. Oh my gosh, he's missing. Where's Matt Walters? There he is. Okay, so Walters is right here. He sees it happening. He jumps down onto the apron, and he ends up taking pit road to avoid the carnage here up and on the racetrack. And normally this is a good move, but he comes in a little bit too hot. He does end up earning a black flag. So we'll have to wait and see if that gets waved off there, just trying to avoid the wreck and taking pit road there to avoid the contact. I believe that the officials may wave that black flag away, and that he won't have to serve that, which is a great break there for the Live Golf Fireball Whiskey number 10 machine, as that is definitely not a fun spot to be out there on the racetrack, but it's a lot better than being tore up, tied up, and getting that early race damage, as you do see Lucifer rolling back out onto the racetrack. Same with Cedric Ingram, Ryan Chronister, John Osborne, even Jaden Newson trying to get some of that damage repaired and going to the back of the pack for starting that mayhem there. And for a lot of these other drivers, just hoping that they can try to battle back into this one, man, because for Newson, Osborne, a lot of these drivers start up towards the front of the field. Richard Wolsifer, a lot of these guys, man, were right up there, right up at the front of the pack here, and battling just inside and just outside of our top 10 on the racetrack at the time of the caution flag and those issues. So running into those problems early on, at least it's a good thing. You have this issue, you run into this early problem, that sets you up here. But we did see pretty much just everyone that was kind of collected in this. A few drivers came back down pit road right here, including Mason Tucker and Kent Mueller, Max Koss, Drew King, Jeff Carson, Tommy Pulte, Trevor Massetti, Sheffield, a couple of these guys that were a little deeper in the field. There's Gavin Grubbs back there in his V-Speed number 25, right? That B-Main podcast number 25. He also went down pit side. So some drivers maybe trying to get that extra little bit of an upper hand here on fuel. I mean, it was only, 2 laps into this race by the time they were down pit side, but that extra little bit may make a difference here, especially if you're trying to go on a game plan to, maybe make this a 2-stop race and not a 3-stop race. That 2 extra laps may make a good distance and a good difference on how much you either got to save or how far you can go. But here we go, back to battle, and for Boughton, another great restart, another great launch there for that 94 ride. And for Adam Boughton, he's going to lead us again down the back straightaway. No pressure to his back bumper, as it's his teammate Anthony Ludi now in tow in position number 2. Jack Simpson already up 8 positions from where he started here this evening. So for Jack Simpson, he worked his way through that traffic rather quickly, and here he is up inside the top 5, looking to keep on battling, keep on working his way towards the front of the field. You do see Dwayne Furtick right there in 4th. Gage Wenzel's up 5 spots now into that 5th position. Here comes that lot 49, number 77 ride of Dalton Wicker as well. Wicker He's up 8 spots on the Speedway as well, just outside our top 5. So there's definitely a lot of drivers from deeper in the pack that are moving forward that may be using up a little bit more tire here early on, knowing that these restarts may be their golden opportunity, their golden tickets to try to gain some positions out there on the Speedway. As you do see a little side-by-side there between the 51 and that 36. It opens up the door for a big run here for Dalton Wicker as he's looking for a pass right there, at least on Gage Wenzel. I thought maybe he'd get a good enough run that he could make his way around Dwayne Furtick, but couldn't quite get the run there that he needed. But now Gage Wenzel falls outside the top 5. Dylan Huso right there with him. Huso already down 5 spots from where he started here this evening as Tyler Chronister, Michael Carter, and now Brian King round out our top 5 out there on the Speedway. But King has another driver that's really moving through the field well. It is that Bass Pro Shops Winchester number 3 machine, Brandon Warlick. Warlick is up 15 spots here, 16 if he can steal that 10th position away from Brian King, but it looks like King with that outside momentum will keep him back there at bay. But man, Warlick up through the field here, 15, 16 spots on the Speedway. He's looking to continue to keep on marching towards the front of the pack here as Corey Dank kind of hanging out right there where he started in that 12th position as Jonathan Cofield on his back bumper. Matt Sisler, who had a great podium run last week, the 31, that 3 birdies ride, rolls there in that 14th position with Doug Denise back in 15th. Kent Mueller now back in 16th with Drew King, Mason Tucker, Connor Fuge, and Jeff Carson there back in about the 19th and 20th position on the Speedway. Max Koss, Jaden Newson trying to battle his way back up there, so isn't Gavin Grubbs. Tommy Pulte's there in 23rd, and we do see Matt Walters, Ryan Chronister, Trevor Massetti, Michael Sheffield, Cedric Ingram, who got some solid damage in that first caution flag. He's back there in 29th. John Osborne also got tore up, got a lot of damage there, but that car is fixed back up in one piece, but he scored back in the 30th position on the racetrack. Same with Daniel Wicker back here. Daniel Wicker scored back in 31st, and it's Richard Wolsifer there in position number 32. And unfortunately, not sure what happened. Obviously, there was a lot of damage. You can still see a lot of right front damage here on this 39 ride. Dallas Humans. I don't know if Dallas took a quick repair there. It looked like he came down pit road, got a lot of work done to the car, but not quite enough. And for the 39 ride, still a lot of damage on this machine, and he's already fallen a lap down out there on the racetrack. He's currently the only driver a lap down, so he is in line for the lucky dog. But if we don't see another caution flag, then it could be a very, very long day here for that 39 ride, especially with no yellows. Man, he's going to have to probably either use that quick repair up at some point in time, or else he's going to continue to fall back and continue to potentially, hurt his chances of trying to get back on the lead lap here this evening as Boughton continues to lead the way. 10 laps in, he's been out in front for all 10 of them in this number 94 ride. Looks hooked up here in California as he'll be looking to try to pick up our 3rd win of the season in the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR Series as the 94, the 95 of Anthony Ludi. He's right there as well. Jack Simpson has worked his way up and into 3rd as Dwayne Furtick rolls there in 4th, and now Gage Wenzel back in front of Dalton Wicker for position number 5 out there on the Speedway. Some great racing, some great battles out there on the Speedway, and obviously for a lot of these drivers, now that we're kind of getting into that swing, we're seeing a lot more green flag laps being laid down. Now it's kind of rolling into that situation where what's your strategy? What is your game plan? Is it save tires, trying to go a little longer here? Is it maybe save some fuel out there on the racetrack, trying to stretch that fuel mileage out so that way you can maybe minimize your stops here this afternoon? That could put you in a winning position late in this race. Or if you're not worried about that fuel, if you have a feeling that no one's going to be able to make it onto pit stops, and you can just kind of put that throttle down, go, go, go. And even if you're quick enough, even if they don't have to make that additional pit stop, you may be able to get so far enough in front of them that you can still kind of come down pit road, make a free pit stop, and still be right there with them, or use the fresh tires to work your way back to them in a quick hurry as they'll be saving late in this race. So I think for a lot of these drivers, They're all working their calculators. That first caution flag of the day, it didn't really mess things up too badly, but enough that maybe it's got a few of these drivers that were already kind of questioning it, wondering if it was feasible. Now all of a sudden you get that caution flag there on lap number 1, and drivers are able to come back down pit road there on lap number 2 and lap number 3. Maybe that gives them just that little bit more of an edge, that maybe it's a little bit more feasible, maybe it's doable here, and maybe now they're going to have to keep that in the back of their mind. But the tire wear will be the killer here this evening. I think for a lot of these drivers that move forward rather quickly out there on the speedway may start to feel that pain here, especially now that we've clicked off 14 laps, and I do believe about 11 laps of green flag racing now for these drivers. That is going to really start to see that tire wear kind of roll in here. Everyone was kind of running towards that 39 1s, 39 2s to start this race. Now everyone's running closer to that 40-second marker out there on the speedway. So almost, working to a second of tire fall off, only, 11, 12, maybe 13 laps really into this race under the green flag conditions, and still click off lap number 15, this time by the start-finish line. So 15% of the way through this feature event, there is still a lot of laps, still a lot of racing, and a lot of strategy to be played out. One single caution flag could, really help your situation out, could really help your strategy out, or it could really hurt your chances out there on the speedway. So I think for a lot of these drivers, they're going to be on their tippy toes and trying to make sure they don't make any huge mistakes out there. And unfortunately for one driver that had worked his way forward here, oh no, the 3 machine off the pace down and out of corner number 2 here. Let's back it up and take a look at it as, man, Warlick was working his way through the traffic, and right here, rear end kind of steps out on him. The tire wear is starting to take effect, and obviously these cars starting to lose the handle, and for the 3 ride, gets sideways there, luckily enough, able to catch it, able to keep it rolling, but look at how many cars go by him here. Almost takes you a lap out there on the racetrack to really build that momentum back up, to really kind of get yourself, settled and back into one good piece out there on the speedway. And unfortunately for Warlick, goes from battling just outside our top 10, just inside the top 10 there with Cofield, Huso, and Brian King, to all of a sudden just trying to keep himself inside the top 20 as Mason Tucker makes the move around him here. Warlick falls back into 19th, and you see Jaden Newson right there ready to pounce in the 78 ride. So tough break there for that number 3 machine, but luckily enough, looks like he's kind of got that thing rolling again. You do see Gavin Grubbs right there as well. Then there's a bit of a gap here, almost 2 seconds back to the 19 of Ryan Chronister and the 14 of Connor Fuge, and then another little gap back here to a few more of these drivers. So the farther and farther you go back through the field, the more and more things kind of get broken up out there. A lot of drivers really separated by a lot. Even when you look back here at Daniel Wicker, Wicker's back here in 31st. He is way back here, chat. He is way off the pace right now, and unfortunately so is in that stance build 56 right. You still see some pretty good right front damage there. Looks like he may have even gotten back up into the outside fence. And for the stance build 56 ride of Richard Wolsifer, Wolsifer is back in 32nd position, and man, he is way off the pace. Unfortunately, already finds himself almost just over 19 seconds, going to 20 seconds behind our race leaders, meaning that he's about half a lap down right now from our lead pack and our race leaders. And if we stay clean and green, they could catch up to him in a quick hurry. But you're starting to see Ludi put some pressure here on Adam Boughton, as Boughton down across the line will lead lap number 19. So he's been out in front for all 19 laps so far, but it seems like maybe Ludi or a couple of these other drivers starting to reel up to him. Here comes that 24, Jack Simpson, that 51 of Dwayne Furtick. We know Furtick, after last week at Atlanta, he could really save some tires out there. He was really mindful and really had his strategy played out, where he knew that, how long he wanted to sit back and wait before he started to use up some of those tires. And it seems like here again for that beautiful Logitech Dell number 51 machine, he's rolling here in 4th. He hasn't lost any positions, in this race. He hasn't gained any positions. positions, but man, he is right there ready to strike, ready to try to put himself back in front, leading laps again here this afternoon from Auto Club Speedway. But for Adam Boughton, he's able to lead the first 20 laps of this race, and for the Boughton Enterprises LLC number 94 ride, he's going to look to continue to try to keep his teammate Ludi back there at bay. I don't know if Ludi is just not being able to get the run that he's looking for, to be able to battle door to door with the 94 ride, or if maybe he's just trying to play it a little bit smarter, knowing that he may be a little bit faster, but if he can try to help out now here with the draft, not battle door to door, and maybe work as a little bit of a blocker here between our race leader and that 24 rider, Jack Simpson, may work out best for him, as right now they're kind of blocking both lanes, dumping dirty air onto the nose of the 24 ride, and for Jack Simpson, that's going to make it tough for him to try to get a run, to try to find that groove, to try to jump up and maybe make a pass or two for the race lead. Dwayne Furtick may be in that same position, but now here we go. Jack Simpson. It looked like he was going to go to the inside, but Dwayne Furtick does choose to go down to the bottom. Furtick looking to try to battle now door to door with the 24. Says, okay, you can't get up there. You can't make that move. You can't try to steal that second position or potentially the race lead from those two out in front. Let me have a shot at it. Unfortunately, though, down the front straightaway, great run there for the 24 Jack Simpson. He's able to hold off the charge of the 51 ride as Dalton Wicker able to hold off the hard charge there from Gage Wenzel. Wenzel will fall back again into that 6th position and now has the 99 of Tyler Chronister right there with him. Brian King's worked his way up and into 8th as Michael Carter back in 9th, and it's Jonathan Cofield rounding out our top 10 here as Cofield works down to the inside of that 18 ride, looking to make that move for the 9th position, and Matt Sisler up 7 positions, one of our podium finishers from last Thursday night, trying to work his way up into the top 10 as we do see a caution flag fly. Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out. As let's take a look here. We do see the 10 ride down through the infield, and I believe, oh no, Connor Fuge may get some big damage for Connor Fuge. Look at that right front tire, not even moving. It is not turning at all, I believe, for a few of these other drivers. Also getting tied up in this one. Looks like Tommy Pulte, heavy damage here for the 26. Ryan Chronister also may have gotten tied up in this one. Let's take a look back and see what brings out our second caution flag of the day here on lap number 24. So I believe it starts potentially in front of him. So here we go. There's some contact between that Carson Setup Shop number 9 ride and the 19 machine, Ryan Chronister. So they're almost 3 wide down through 3 and 4. And out of corner number 4, it looks like the 9 comes up the racetrack here a whole lot quicker than the 19. And unfortunately, obviously the 19 ride trying to leave a lane here for Connor Fuge because he knows there's a car to his outside. And unfortunately, just tough racing here. Let's take a look from the 9 ride of Jeff Carson. See what he can see, because obviously here he goes, getting on the throttle, washing up, and eventually finally runs into that 19 ride, and you can see the carnage that ensues from it, because the 19 Ryan Chronister, after that contact, car hooks to the left, he tries to correct it, it snap hooks back up the racetrack right into Connor Fuge's lap, and nowhere to go for Fuge as he drives into the side of the 19 ride, both drivers up into the outside fence, and then here comes Tommy Pulte a little farther back here. He sees the 19 around, he sees the 14 ride headed down to the infield, and then as he tries to get checked up to avoid obviously the 11 of Osborne. Osborne's checking up here to keep himself out of the carnage, and unfortunately for the OG Motorsports number 26 ride, gets onto the binders, turns the car up into the outside fence. Solid damage there into that outside wall for the 26 machine. Unfortunately, kind of just an innocent bystander there at the start of that one, and now has a ton of damage on that car, and he's going to have to try to get this thing down pit side. You see him rolling down there. That right front tire just pointing the wrong direction, and obviously that thing is going to need some tender love and care down pit side. Jeff Carson going to need some work as well on that 9 ride, and for a lot of these drivers, and make things very, very tough, as we do see Dallas Humans able to get the lucky dog. Great break here for the 39 ride. Gets the lucky dog back on the lead lap, but he still has that damage that he has to deal with. Now we'll have to wait and see if he goes with, potentially, getting some damage repaired here, or if he uses the quick repair up to try to get this thing kind of right back into one good piece out there on the racetrack and back into the battle out there on the Speedway. But for right now, he is just lucky to be back on the lead lap, back at least into somewhat of the battle here on the Speedways. He goes through his pit box there a little bit. The crew's going to go to work. They're going to get some tires. They're going to get some fuel into that ride as the race off of pit road. It's Anthony Ludi. Ludi comes out with the race lead. So Anthony Ludi will be our new race leader out there on the Speedway. You'll get ready for our second restart of the day as Gage Wenzel now in second. Tyler Chronister comes out in third. The 51 of Dwayne Furtick in position number 4 still. Seems like he's kind of glued to that 4th position. Adam Bounton, our early race leader, sits back in position number 5 with Brian King, Jonathan Cofield, Michael Carter, Matt Sisler, Corey Denk rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. As Denk back there in that 10th position, we do see Dylan Huso, Doug Denise, Max Kosh, Drew King, Mason Tucker, John Osborne's now in 11th. You take a look back at 17th. That is Jack Simpson. Simpson was just up inside of our top 3 here. So a really slow pit stop there for the 24. And unfortunately for that Braille Art number 24 machine, he's going to be deep in the field here for this restart. That is going to be a tough spot. Back in 17th, trying to battle back. He does have his ASL teammate there to his outside, Jaden Newson, back in 18th with Trevor Massetti and Michael Sheffield rounding up the top 20. Brandon Wartick, Matt Walters, Gavin Grubbs, Cedric Ingram, Daniel Wicker, Jeff Carson, Dalton Wicker. Oh, man, Dalton Wicker back here as well. Looks like he may have ran into an issue down pit road, and he's got to start from the back of the pack here in that 27th position. Richard Wolsifer there in position number 28 with Ryan Chronister rolling back out there in 29th. Dallas Humans, they're rounding out our top 30 as Kent Mueller jumps back out onto the racetrack. Tommy Pulte still getting this damage repaired. Unfortunately for Pulte, I do believe he's already fallen one lap down, and he's got to be careful here because it still has a ton of damage on this race car, and our race leaders are getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. And for the 14 at Connor Fuge, looks like he's going to be down pit side here for a very extended period of time. But here we go, back to Green Flag Racing. It's the 95 of Anthony Ludi sees that green flag get displayed. So Ludi gets a good launch, good restart, but here comes Gage Wenzel down to his inside. Fresh tires out there on the racetrack, and for all these drivers, I think that was a little bit earlier of a pit stop than they were hoping for. So this is definitely going to be another period of time where, the race leaders and all these drivers and their teams are going to be crunching the numbers, trying to figure out where they're sitting at, what the strategy will be here from here on out, as Gage Wenzel does slide up and in front of Anthony Ludi, and it's Gage Wenzel who will take over the race lead. Wenzel out in front. He's got the top spot, and now looking to keep Ludi. Dwayne Furtick, Chronister, and Bounton back there at bay as the 36 ride out in front, trying to keep the Tom Stacy Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches here at the point, but Ludi battling back down to the inside. The 51 of Dwayne Furtick for the first time here this evening, back up inside of our top 3 on the Speedway, and for Furtick, he's going to look to try to pick up a couple more spots. I know this 51 ride wants to jump back out in front and try to make this 2 races in a row into victory lane. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do. It's a lot of movement here. Some big blocks coming out of that 36 ride of Gage Wenzel, trying to kill all that speed and momentum either out of the 51 or that 95 ride. And as this run continues on, it's going to get tougher and tougher for these guys to try to make these passes. So if they got the speed, if they got the tire, you almost got to use it right now. But Gage Wenzel doing a fantastic job holding on to the top spot here. Really just dumping a lot of dirty air onto the nose of Ludi and Furtick, trying to keep it balanced and keep all these guys in a difficult position. As we did see, oh no, Dalton Wicker. Oh no, Wicker with a ton of damage. The lot 49. Number 77 ride heads down pit side here. He will fall a lap down, and you can see the damage on this machine, man. Oh, man. Heartbreaker here for any of the Dalton Wicker Tiny Toes fans in the stands, as Wicker started off having such a good run, such a good drive here. We're going to have to play this back. What in the world happens to him? We do see the smoke down through corner number 3 and 4, but this happens way before this. It looks like it's potentially out of corner number 2 right here. Oh my gosh, where did this happen? This was way back here. See if you had some help, as, oh yeah, it looks like things getting a little tight here for this number 77 ride, and let's take a look at it. So he's all over the back bumper here of Michael Sheffield in that VFW ride. Looks like he jumps down to the inside. The 9 ride, who's been kind of surrounded by it here this afternoon, unfortunately for the 9 machine of Jeff Carson. Carson's already there to his inside. He wasn't clear of him. There's contact, gets him loose hard up into the outside fence, and then we see the 56 as well. Oh man, Richard Wolsifer, nowhere for him to go as he's trying to roll the outside lane here as well, and he's going to drive in here and into the fence, and then hard contact into the back end of that 77 with that. Tons of damage there for Dalton Wicker, and we're going to see a lot of damage here on the Stansville 56 ride as well. Now for Richard, he's still rolling out there. He's not down pit road like we see Dalton Wicker, as Wicker's day at the Speedway may be coming to a close here early on this afternoon, as he's going to be down pit side for an extended period of time, as we did see the yellow flag get displayed. Now, it's not for that incident. There's another problem, and unfortunately, it may be another Tiny Toes ride. Oh, no. Right here, looks like Corey Dank. Oh, no, Corey goes around. Oh, man, gets a big piece there of Dylan Huso and the 24 of Jack Simpson. Gets some very solid damage into this one as well. And this is kind of what we saw earlier out of that 3 ride of Brandon Warlick, is Warlick rolling down and through corner number 2. And it just looks like the rear end starts to step out on him. And as these cars start to work themselves around, you're trying to counter steer it. So you're turning the wheel to the right to try and get the thing pointed back in the right direction. A lot of times, this is what they do, man. They snap hook back up the racetrack, and that's exactly what you see of the 7 ride of Corey Dank as he watches up, clips that 24 of Jack Simpson. Simpson gets a pretty good piece of that outside fence, and unfortunately for Dylan Huso, nowhere for him to go as he pile drives the back bumper of that 7 machine of Corey D, and unfortunately another caution flag. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Dylan Huso, as Huso is going to get a front row seat to this one. All of a sudden, right from the A-pillar, washes up the racetrack into the 24, right into his lap. Nowhere for him to go. Tons of damage there for the 33 ride, for the 24, and obviously for that 7 ride. Tough couple laps there for the Tiny Toes fans in the stands, man. They have had no luck, but we do see that caution flag come back out, and now things have gotten a little bit more mixed up here. Some drivers elected to come back down pit side. A lot of others did not come down pit road. So we'll go through that here in just a quick second after a quick word from our sponsors here in the Hypershift Racing League. Alrighty, huge shout out there to all of our amazing sponsors here in the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. As after our third caution flag, we'll get ready to rumble. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. As of right now, our top, 13 drivers. Actually, top 14 drivers going back to Matt Walters in the 19 ride. Ryan Chronister did not come back down pit road. But here on lap 32, we saw Jonathan Cofield, Max Cost, Wayne Furtick, who was running up inside our top 5. Osborne, Sisler, all these drivers made their way back down pit side there on lap number 32, so a little bit more fuel into their rides. You did see Richard Wolfsifer there get back up into the outside fence there on this restart. You see the damage still on the 56, on the 33 ride, still a bunch of damage as well to that number 26 of Tommy Pulte, but they're still just trying to do everything they can to keep themselves in the battle. Unfortunately, we do see Corey Denk and his Tiny Toes teammate Dalton Wicker both still down pit side and off the racetrack. Connor Fuge also still down pit side. Unfortunately for these drivers, they've all lost quite a few laps now, and I don't know if they're going to be able to battle their way back into the race. But out in front, it's Gage Wenzel who leads the way. But now with that 7-lap difference in fuel here, making their way back down pit road, does that open up the possibility here, pitting there on lap number 32, if they can stretch their fuel, that they only have to make one more green flag pit stop throughout this race. If it stays clean and green, for a lot of those drivers that made that additional pit stop, gave up the track position, maybe it'll come back to them here late in this race if they don't have to make an additional pit stop later on, where maybe the front runners, maybe they will have to make that additional stop. Maybe they won't be able to save enough fuel to kind of balance things out and have the same pit strategy as the drivers back behind them. So for Gage Wenzel, Anthony Ludi, Tyler Chronister, who now sits in third, Boughton's back up into fourth. I know he wants to try to get back up in front here. He wants this race lead once again and trying to keep on clicking off the laps here this afternoon. As you do see Chronister, man, Tyler's having himself a heck of a day, man. Ryan A's looking really, really strong out there on the Speedway, and for Ryan Chronister, man, it'd be nice to see if he can get a good finish here this evening. But right now, teammates lined up in that outside lane as all of a sudden Michael Carter pokes his nose right into this battle out in front, and Carter's trying to work his way up and into that mix here this evening as some absolute amazing racing out there on the Speedway, man. The Revolution Motorsports team, though, looking pretty strong with Ludi sitting there in second, Boughton back in position number 4. Then that 18 ride of Michael Carter right there as well. So they got 3 drivers inside our top 5 and looking really, really strong. Doug Denise not too far back there as well in the 8th position. Unfortunately for Kent Mueller, obviously he slid back there quite a bit throughout this race. But for Gage Wenzel, he may have his hands full here if that Revolution Motorsports team starts to work together, start to get lined up together. Maybe they can try to push each other to, take this race lead and work their way in front of the field and have control of this feature event. But it's still a lot of laps left to go. 38 laps completed. Still, I believe, 62 more laps left to go here this evening. As you see Ludi trying to make that move, trying to get door-to-door here with that Tom Stacy Taters. Number 36 of Gage Wenzel can't quite stay door-to-door with them, and down the back straightaway, the momentum will go to Gage Wenzel, and he'll use a little bit of that dirty air to try to slow that 95 ride down that much more. And right now, Gage Wenzel just working the front of the field absolutely perfectly out there on the Speedway. Ludi's kind of got nothing for him. Same with Tyler Chronister back there in that 3rd position. And then you do see Boughton and Michael Carter there in our top 5. But right behind them, Brandon Warlick. Brandon's bouncing back. We saw that slide for him down and out of corner number 2 there not too long ago. And he lost a good 10 positions out there on the Speedway. And for the 3 ride, he's been slowly but surely working his way back up here. Obviously now with some of the different pitch strategies there during that last caution flag, puts him right up inside the top 10. Him and this number 15 ride duking it out. The 15 of Brian King shoots it deep down low right there. They both get a good run, and they both almost jump up door to door there with Michael Carter. Carter, though, able to pull him down the front straightaway, but Man, Brian King and Brandon Warlick both looking really good here this evening. In our Daytona winner, the Tom's Tasty Taters 250 winner from a couple weeks ago, Jaden Newson. Newson's up inside the top 10. He's battling here with the 40 ride as there's some smoke right there. Uh-oh. Looks like Tyler Chronister is going to go for a ride. No caution flag as of yet. It stays clean and green. He's going to roll back out onto the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if the yellow flag gets displayed. Does not look like it will. It'll stay clean and green. And a heartbreaker here for a driver battling up inside our top 3. Let's take a look at it. See if he has any help as he's working underneath that 95 right of Ludi. And again, you just see him lose that rear end. This time, luckily enough for Adam Boughton, is it could have been almost the same scenario where we saw, the 7 ride of Corey Denk kind of make this save and then snap hook into the outside fence. You see the 99 ride make the save. The car steps out again. He's still trying to keep it going, and luckily enough, it just never washes totally up to that fence or into the lap of that 94. But unfortunately for Tyler Chronister, he's going to go around down on the apron. No caution flag as he's not in the racing line here in iRacing, so they do not throw the yellow flag for him. And he's able to get rolling here, avoid any contact or any carnage, but unfortunately still sends him back out there on the speedway. But we do see the yellow flag coming back out as it looks like few more drivers running into issues, one of those being the 88 ride of Trevor Massetti. Massetti gets tied up. He gets tore up here. Look at the right front, man. We've seen this too many times so far here this evening, and unfortunately another tore up race car out there on the speedway. That right front just completely turned to the left right there. It's just caved in. A lot of rear end damage as well, so you got to imagine that he not only found the outside fence, but a few more drivers may have found him, as he's got 80. Yeah, right there. Okay, so there's contact between him and Daniel Wicker right here. Okay, so this is deeper in the field here, and for both these drivers, I mean, weren't really having the best of days so far, and it just looks like the 0-0 gets a good run out of corner number 4. Gets to the back bumper here of the 88, as you do see, obviously for the 88 ride, I believe he's going to try to make this pass there, door-to-door down the back straightaway. Shoots it in deep down low into corner number 1, and he's clear of him right there, and then he pulls up, and just the outside momentum coming for the 0-0. Gives him a shot into the back bumper. Now, it's not egregious. It's not like it's too far to the right or too far to the left or trying to cut down underneath of him. It's more square to the back bumper, and I think maybe for Daniel Wicker, maybe he was thinking maybe if he gives him a bump, it'll either just wash him up the track or potentially give him a boost kind of down the front straightaway, not wanting to lift and kill his momentum, and unfortunately it did kill his momentum, and it killed the momentum of the 88 ride as well as, man, this is a big hit. Look at how hard he hits that outside fence, man. That is a huge shot right there. Bam! Hard contact into that outside fence, and I don't know if we're done yet because I feel like we're going to see a couple more drivers kind of roll in here. Everyone's trying to avoid him. Does anyone run into him? I don't know where that rear end damage really comes from, or if he may have gotten that from the wall. Wasn't sure right there if the 26 may have clipped him, but it looks like everyone's able to avoid him. So luckily enough, no one else really gets tied up in it, but obviously some pretty solid damage there for Trevor Massetti and for the 0-0 of Daniel Wicker, as now everybody's back down pit road except for 3 drivers. This time we see 3 cats stay out there on the racetrack. Not coming down pit lane is Dwayne Furtick, who will take over control of this race. Gavin Grubbs will be in second, and then we see Kent Mueller now rounding out our top 3 here on the speedway, but it's going to be a drag race out of pit road, and it looks like Adam Boughton will come out with that position. Mason Tucker potentially not coming down pit side as well. We'll have to wait and see where that 16 ride gets lined up, as he was down pit road on lap 43. I'm not sure if he came down pit road a lap earlier. He may get sent to the rear of the field. We'll have to wait and see how iRacing scores it. But for the 16 ride, may have entered a closed pit road. Now, we did see a few other drivers here also obviously making a lot of pit stops. Some drivers down there making additional pit stops as well, trying to get those repairs, trying to get fixed back up. Now, we did see the number 33 ride of Dylan Huso. Now, Huso got the wave around right here, and I believe for Dylan Huso, he's back on the lead lap. So that's a great break there for Dylan, and he's back on the lead lap, back into the action, but unfortunately still scored deep in the field here. Now, we do see Jack Simpson down pit road for an extended period of time, same with Max Cost. Obviously, a few other drivers trying to get these things repaired. One of those being that 56 of Richard Wolsifer, Trevor Massetti. He's going to be down there, I think, for an extended period of time. Tommy Pulte still trying to get his car fixed up for the most part. Looking pretty good now for that number 26 ride. So you just got to work on trying to get a lot of laps back. And unfortunately for Tommy Pulte, he finds himself scored back in 30th. And I believe he is 7 laps down out on the racetrack, man. That is going to be tough to come back from. 6-7 laps down. I don't know if he's going to get that many lucky dogs or wave arounds or anything else to try to get back into this race, and he's just going to have to hope for more carnage and more drivers to end up down pit side, as he will probably be able to leapfrog Trevor Massetti here in a few laps, as Massetti's going to be down pit side for a while. Looks like Corey Denk is taking his car back down behind pit wall now. Wicker and Connor Fuge still down pit side here, but unfortunately for both drivers, multiple laps down now out there on the racetrack, and their night is pretty much done here this evening. So a heartbreaker there for them, heartbreaker for Corey Denk as well, and obviously for Pulte, Massetti. A lot of these drivers still just trying to rebound from that early contact, early carnage, and trying to work themselves slowly but surely back into this race. Some will be easier than others, as you know, obviously for the 26 ride, multiple laps down, going to be very tough to come back from. But for the 51 rider, Dwayne Furtick, he was down pit side there on lap number 32. Did not come back down pit road there on lap 44, so he may be just sticking with his pit strategy. But for the 51 machine, obviously wanted to go with having that clean air, that fresh air out in front, wanted to lead some laps here. We'll have to wait and see what he's able to do, as Dwayne, good restart, good launch right there, able to open up a bit of a gap between himself and Gavin Grubbs, as we see that 94 of Adam Boughton working the outside lane, trying to work his way around that B-Main Podcast Victory Fuel V-Speed number 25 ride, and he will make the pass down the back straightaway, as here comes Gage Wetzel, here comes Anthony Ludi, and a lot of these other drivers that were down pit side. They're going to look to try to work their way through some of those other drivers in a quick hurries. There is a little contact right there. Gage Wetzel washes up the racetrack down through corner number 4. Door slammed a little bit off that 25 ride. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep pointing the right direction, but Gage doing a great job here, battling down to the inside, trying to figure his way up and into that third position, as Adam Boughton wasting no time, looking to try to jump up here and battle for the race lead, as he's all over the back bumper of Dwayne Furtick. But there is a ton of door-to-door, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide back there behind our race leaders. But can Dwayne Furtick continue to hold on to this top spot? Can he keep this race lead and keep Adam Boughton back there at bay? Boughton able to put the power down, work into the inside groove. Unfortunately, that outside momentum will pay dividends again for the 51, as Furtick will keep him back there at bay. And this, I think, is what the 51 ride wanted. He just wants this race lead. He wants this clean air, and being out in front may set him up. But man, this 94 ride, he saw the speed out there on the racetrack for the qualifying session, as he won that pole position. He led the first 20 plus laps of this race, and for Adam Boughton, he wants back out in front, and he has got to pass another fast cat to do it. But he's shown that he's got a really good car here this evening, as he continues to try to battle here with Furtick for the top spot. We do see Gage Wetzel finally able to jump up, clear Gavin Grubbs for position number 3. But as they continue to battle there, it allowed our top 2 to open up about 0.8 of a second lead here, as Boughton this time, great run, great drive down through 1 and 2. He'll slide up in front of Dwayne Furtick. Now, does Dwayne have anything for him? He's going to have the speed and momentum down the back straightaway. Does he make a move down to the inside as they're wrecking back behind him? Look out, here they go. Oh, Doug Denise down through the infield. Kent Mueller's tied up in it in the 8 ride. The 15 of Brian King. I do believe we saw the 3 of Brandon Wartlick in there as well, and a few other drivers, as the caution flag will be displayed here again this afternoon. Man, a lot of tore up race cars, and another yellow yellow flag out there on the Speedway. And this is one of those racetracks I did not really expect to see this many yellows, but it starts up in the front here, and it looks like maybe a bit of a bad shove from the 58 ride. Oh, man, looks like the 58 giving a big shove to the back bumper as Brandon Warlick looking to try to make it 3 wide, battling here for position number 3. And for Jonathan Cofield, he's going to drive into the back bumper here of this 3 machine. And unfortunately, as he does, he's pushing him. You see the 3 ride get a little bit loose, washed down towards the apron. The 58 stays glued virtually to his back bumper. And as he does that, it just pushes him and turns him around right there. Hooks him and virtually turns that car back up the racetrack. And all of a sudden, nowhere to go here for Gavin Grubbs, for Ken Mueller. Looks like Anthony Ludy's going to get some pretty decent damage in that as well, as Ludy had nowhere to go. Look at the 15 ride of King. Nowhere for him there. And then you see Ryan Chronister, the other King as well. Drew King getting a piece of it, man. Absolute chaos down into corner number 3. A ton of cars getting absolutely shredded out there on the racetrack, man. Just not a lot of room, and one wrong push, one wrong bump, and all of a sudden it's on like Donkey Kong here. King, he goes around up into the outside. It looks like he tanks Michael Carter there, gets into the outside fence himself. Let's throw it in reverse. Let's take a look here at some of the other drivers that may get a piece of this one, as I believe you're going to see Michael Sheffield potentially coming in late. He's going to see a lot of these drivers as Brandon Warlick. Man, hard hit there for him. He's spinning sideways. Here comes the 19, the 34. They both pounce into him right there. Then all of a sudden, here comes Max Cost, the 39 ride. There's the one of Sheffield into it. And about 10 drivers all of a sudden getting some pretty solid damage down into corner number 3. A lot of tore-up race cars out there on the racetrack for what is now our 5th caution flag of the day. My gosh, 5 yellow flags, and we're just past the halfway marker. I didn't think we'd see 5 yellows throughout this entire race, but obviously everyone trying to get everything they can, trying to make every move that they need to try to put themselves into a winning position out there on the racetrack. And now, obviously, that fuel strategy continues to play out here, as again, looks like our top 9 are going to stay out, including Adam Boughton, who had just taken the race lead. He's going to stay out. So is Engage Wenzel. Michael Carter. Doesn't look like too much damage there to that discount tire number 18 ride. Doug Denise, Jaden Newson, Matt Sisler, Cendric Ingram. Great rebound there for the 32 ride. Mason Tucker, Matt Walters, who we saw have issues early on. He's right there in 9th. They did not come down pit road. Now for Jeff Carson in the 9 ride, John Osborne, Dwayne Furtick, Jonathan Cofield, a lot of these other drivers, they did come down pit side. Now you take a look at the 1 ride of Michael Sheffield. He's got some pretty solid damage still on this number 1 machine. He's going to be maybe making a couple more trips down pit road to try to get this VFW ride back into one good solid piece. You do take a look at Anthony Ludy. He does have still a little bit of left front damage here for that Robin Hood number 95 ride. Chronister, he's still got damage on the 19. Jack Simpson, I don't know how much damage he still has from the second to last caution flag out there, but Brian King, obviously a ton of damage here for that top tattoo ride, and unfortunately he's going to need a lot of work done to it for the 56 ride of Richard Wolsifer, man, he got tore up early, but he's kind of just stuck with it. Did lose a lap, got a waiver and got back on the lead lap, and then he just been back down pit road getting some more and more repairs done to this 56 ride, and it's back into some pretty good shape here, and he may have something for these guys late in this race. We'll have to wait and see what he can do later on as Drew King here now has a ton of damage here for the 34. Brandon Warlick, he's got a ton of damage on the 3 machine. Tyler Chronister still down pit side. We'll have to wait and see if this car can get back out there. Same with Max Cost, as you do see the damage there on Cost ride. Dylan Huso tore up there, man. Tough break for that Simpson Racing ride. Dallas Humans back down pit road here. He's still got a lot of front end damage. Gavin Grubbs, looks like Grubbs in the B-Main podcast number 25 ride. Looks like Grubbs' night, oh no, is done. Looks like Gavin Grubbs has took his car back down behind pit wall and off the speedway. Daniel Wicker's down there. Ken Mueller is down there now for an extended period of time. Tommy Pulte still battling here, and unfortunately a few more drivers done early here this evening, so the field keeps getting a little bit thinner, and obviously there's a lot of tore-up race cars out there on the speedway, but for Adam Boughton, he says thank you very much. He's got the race lead, gets another great restart, able to try to pull away here from Gage Wenzel and his teammate Doug Denise. Is Denise looking down to the inside here with that Tom Stacey Taters number 36 ride, trying to steal that second spot away from him, couldn't quite get that run that he needed down and out of corner number 4, as you do see Matt Sisler. Man, Sisler having another good run here in that 3 birdies ride. Man, could it be another podium for that 31 machine here this evening? Got a solid second place performance last week, and he backed it up with another good drive here at Auto Club Speedway. Cedric Ingram, man, what a comeback for Cedric, man. Great comeback here for him as well. There's a lot of drivers that are going to have that storyline and that arc out there on the racetrack, and they tied up, tore up early in this race, having issues, and then just slowly but surely battling your way either back on a lead lap or back into contention with getting your cars repaired, and slowly but surely this 32 ride has found himself now up inside the top 5 after some really heavy early race issues here this evening. Jaden Newson's now into position number 6 as Dwayne Furtick 3 wide back here for that 7th position as Mason Tucker and Jeff Carson working down to his inside, and then you do see John Osborne right there rounding out our top 10. Michael Carter's back in 11th with Jonathan Cofield there in 12th. Matt Walters rounding out our top 13. Jack Simpson trying to work his way back up there, but for the 24, still trying to get some repairs done to this race car. It is getting at least slightly fixed up here. It's getting a little bit better, but still needs a little bit of work, and so does in Ludi and potentially for Sheffield and Drew King, Richard Wolsifer, Brian King, Brandon Warlick, and pretty much everyone else back here needing some solid work to their race cars. Ryan Chronister, the 99 ride of Tyler Chronister. His car looks pretty good, but he was down pit road there for an extended period of time. Didn't lose a lap, but for the 99 run, he is way back behind the field here and could be at risk in a quick hurry if we stay clean and green for an extended period of time of going a lap down, as he's about 28, 29 seconds already behind our race leaders, meaning they're only about 11, 12 seconds away from potentially lapping that 99 ride. So he's going to have to be really, really careful out there on the speedway. But for all these drivers, some great battling, some great racing out there on the speedway, some incredible comebacks, and these guys just continue to put on another incredible show for us here this evening as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we want you guys to do right now is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers out there on the speedway. Is down across the line. They complete lap number 58. It's only 42 more laps left to go here from Auto Club Speedway. Alrighty, some great racing action and a beautiful Peacemaker Gaming crank it up out there on the Speedway. As out in front, continuing to lead this race. It is that number 94 ride of Adam Boughton. Boughton out in front, continue to hold these guys back there at bay, trying to separate himself more and more from Gage Wenzel and the number 31 of Matt Sisler. Sisler up and into that third position, as during our crank it up, you did see, unfortunately, for the number 40 ride of Doug Denise, who was right there tight in that battle, got very loose at a corner number 2, almost went around. Luckily enough, was able to keep it going, but you saw how quickly he lost about 4 positions out there on the racetrack and has fallen back into that 8th position as Wayne Furtick, Cofield, Cedric Ingram, and Osborne all able to quickly jump back up and around this 40 ride, but here he is battling back, trying to work his way back around this 11 of Osborne for that 7th position as they're tight back here just inside of our top 8 on the racetrack. Then a bit of a gap back as the 18 ride of Michael Carter jumps back up into 9th. Matt Walters there in 10th. And then we do see the 9 ride of Jeff Carson's running at our top 11. Jaden Newson a little farther back there has the 16 ride of Mason Tucker there with him. Jack Simpson and the 26 ride, who's multiple laps down, of Tommy Pulte there in the next little group. And then you do see Richard Wolsifer there, and then we see Drew King back in position number 16. Anthony Luty's there in 17th. Brandon Warlick a little further back there in 18th. And now we do see Michael Sheffield working his way down pit side here. So Sheffield coming down pit road with 30 laps left to go here. Maybe right at that pit window, that fuel window for all these drivers, coming down a little bit earlier. Maybe trying to get some more repairs done, maybe trying to get some new tires on here, trying to help his day out at least a little bit here on the racetrack. Unfortunately, he was falling farther and farther back, still a lot of damage there on that one machine. And then you see Tyler Chronister. I do believe Chronister is now technically the first driver 1 lap down. Is you do see Brian King and Tyler Chronister still back here. King still has a lot of damage on his race car. He's about 10 seconds away from potentially going a lap down out there on the Speedway. Tyler Chronister not too far back away from him here. Now Chronister, Tyler here, doesn't have damage on the 99 ride, but he was down pit side for an extended period of time, maybe using a bathroom break there during our last caution flag, and unfortunately for the 99 did not get out in time and basically restarted half a track down, and now just trying to keep himself on the lead lap, hoping for another yellow flag, hoping to get back into the action, and then going through some of those drivers that have already lost the lap. Obviously, Ryan Chronister, he sits in the free pass position as of right now. He's in the lucky dog spot if there is to be a caution flag. Michael Sheffield, who was just down pit side, unfortunately still has damage on that one ride. He is also 1 lap down out on the Speedway. Dylan Huso also a lap down. Actually, he's still just a lap down out there on the Speedway. It was close to being potentially 2 laps down there for the number 33 ride, but I believe, actually, no, he is. It's very, very close. He's very close to going a 2nd lap down here this evening. Same with Max Cost there in the 17 ride. Dallas Humans already a couple laps down in that 39 ride. Tommy Pulte is, 5, 6, 7 laps down there. Same with Daniel Wicker. Wicker is probably about 8 laps down out on the racetrack. Gavin Grubbs already down and out of this race. So isn't Ken Mueller, who's still down pit side. Trevor Massetti is done and out. Same with Corey Denk, Dalton Wicker, and Connor Fuge here this evening, as we do see some more drivers headed down pit road. Looks like one of the first front runners to make their way down pit side is that 31 ride. All right, so the 3 birdies, number 31 shoots down pit road. He's the first taker here from our front runners. We'll have to wait and see how this works out for him, if this will help him and potentially put him into a winning position late in this race, and what he's going to be able to do to try to keep these guys back there at base. We do see Jonathan Cofield. Cofield's been able to work his way to the point here. He's raced his way up through the rest of our top 3, around Gage Wenzel, around Adam Boughton, and now it's Jonathan Cofield, who's got the race lead, and Gage Wenzel trying to hold on to second now as we do see Adam Boughton making his way down pit road. So I don't wonder if those tires starting to fall off here a lot for these guys, and unfortunately for Boughton, started to slide back there a little bit, now making this pit stop. Hopefully it's not too early for him, but it'll be 25 laps once he rolls back out there, so we'll have to wait and see if those tires will hold up a little bit longer for him, because that was virtually about a 23-lap run, 24-lap run right there of green flag racing on that last set of tires. So you know, wonder for the 94 ride, will this potentially play late in the race? You know, if his car starts to fall off, maybe Cofield or Dwayne Furtick, now John Osborne, do they move forward and work themselves into position to potentially try to win this race? I know for Furtick, he's going to love to try to win back-to-back races out there on the racetrack, but right now it seems like Jonathan Cofield, who had a really good run going last week, was right there with Furtick. I think it would have been a tight battle between the two of them to the checkered flag there at Old Atlanta to see who could try to put themselves up and into victory lane, but a pit road speeding penalty, unfortunately for the 58 ride, that kept him down pit road for an extended period of time. He lost the lap, ended up finishing the race back deep in the field, and unfortunately not the position that he wanted to be in late in that race. So we'll see if he can get some redemption here this evening, as we do see Doug Denise coming down pit road in a world of smoke. As let's play this one back. I believe he just gets in a little too hot here, trying to get this thing woed down and checked up where he's not going to get a pit road speeding penalty, and obviously locks it down right here. Gets out of the binders, locks it down. Luckily enough, though, keeps it pointed straight and still rolling, and luckily enough, no pit road speeding penalty there for the 40 ride, but obviously that could have really hurt him right there. That could have took a good finish and a great day for Doug Denise and thrown it out the window. Luckily enough, able to keep on going with it is Dalton Wicker. What's good, Dalton? Dalton in the chat says, what's up, Peace? What's up, Dalton? How are you, mister? How you doing this afternoon? As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and jump into the comments section. Let us know who you want to see up in victory lane. As now, here on lap number 78, we see Dwayne Furtick, we see Gage Wenzel, both head down pit side themselves, so they're going to make the pit stops. Let's see where this kind of puts them as well, because this is going to be really, really interesting. This is going to be a tight race, as we do see Matt Sisler. He's going to be out in front here potentially, and with those fresh tires, he may be able to give himself a pretty solid lead, but you're going to see Adam Boughton. You're going to see, now probably Gage Wenzel and Dwayne Furtick, and the rest of these guys try to hunt him down. As here we go, lap 79. Jonathan Cofield's down pit road. John Osborne's down pit side. Jaden Newson's also down pit road, as Jeff Carson picks up the race lead here in this one. As Broken Spork says, what happened to you, Dalton? Oh, unfortunately for Dalton, tough night for him, man. Says tough night, but enjoying the broadcast. We love it. We love it. As Broken Spoke says, same here. Second caution killed my car. Oh, no. Wasn't clear enough into turn one. Snapped me to the right, and right front was killed. Yeah, unfortunately, same fate here for a lot of drivers this afternoon. A lot of cats ended up getting tore up and tied up in some of those wrecks. One of those being this number 56 ride, Richard Wolsifer, man. He's been having himself a great comeback day. We'll have to wait and see where he can finish this one off, but man, it could have been done and over early on, but he stuck with it, kept on battling, kept on getting repairs, and he's still out there on the racetrack looking for a good finish here this evening. But we're starting to see more and more drivers head down pit road, and everyone's kind of in that pit window. Obviously, you come down pit road now, you're good on field to the checkered flag, but it's all about the tires here. How long do you want to keep on rolling out there on the racetrack? How much time are you going to give up to the drivers that have already made their pit stops? And how much can you gain back when you get back out onto the racetrack with potentially a little bit better tires than them? So for a lot of these drivers, I think that's what's kind of going through their mind right now. Where will it benefit them? Will it benefit them more in the longer run or the short-term run here early on? Coming down pit road a little bit later will give you better tires later in the run. run in towards the checkered flag, but coming down early, you can use those fresh tires to your advantage to build up such a big gap that maybe the guys with the old tires, well, once they come down pit road, will have the newer tires than you. Maybe they won't be able to reel you in time to make some passes. And for Michael Carter, Matt Walters, Jack Simpson, they're still rolling out there, yet to come down pit road. Same with Drew King, Anthony Ludi in the 95 ride, Tyler Chronister yet to come back down pit road, Brandon Warlick also yet to make his final pit stop of the day. And now looking at the drivers that have been down pit side and have made those pit stops, it's John Osborne who comes out of it with the race lead. Osborne's got the top spot now, but you see Gage Wenzel right there with him, and that number 51 of Dwayne Furtick as well. Matt Sisler a little farther back. I thought for the number 31 that it would kind of leapfrog him there, making the pit stop, 4 or 5 laps earlier than Osborne, Wenzel, and Furtick. Unfortunately, it did not work out that way for him, and you do see Adam Bounton back behind him here as well, so maybe a little bit slower, more conservative pit stops there for Bounton and Sisler, even for Jonathan Cofield, who's out in front leading this race. Came down pit road there on lap number 79. So he does have a little bit better tires than the couple cars here in front of him with Sisler and Bounton, but virtually the same tires as Osborne, Wenzel, and Furtick out there on the Speedway. So we'll have to wait and see how this lines up for him, as we do see Anthony Ludi now down pit road, Matt Walters coming down pit side now as well. So only a handful or so of drivers yet to make their final pit stop of the evening, and one of those being our race leader, this Discount Tire number 18 ride on Michael Carter. Carter continues to lead the way as Emma in the chat says, "Let's go Gage," cheering on Mr. Wenzel here this evening. And right now Gage, he's kind of right in the middle of it, but John Osborne keeping a good distance here between himself and that 36 ride. And for John Osborne, as things cycle back through, he will be out in front. He will be our race leader. And he could be sitting in a really good position to try to put himself up into victory lane here this evening. Wenzel's going to be right there ready to pounce, though, and so is in last week's winner, Dwayne Furtick, back there in what will be that third position on the Speedway. As we do see Michael Carter finally working his way down pit side, it'll forfeit the race lead over to that Braille Art EPI number 24 of Jack Simpson. So Simpson now out in front, leading the way as Drew King will be scored in position number 2. Now, Tyler Chronister still has to pit as well. Chronister was quite a ways behind the race leaders there prior to these green flag pit stops kind of getting started. Unfortunately for Chronister, I'm not sure where this is going to play out for him, especially with no late race caution flags. He has no damage on that car, but just that extended pit stop there for him during the last caution flag just really killed his chances in his day here at the Speedway. But for the 99, he's currently scored in that third position, but still has to make a pit stop here late in this race. So doesn't Jack Simpson, Drew King as well. But man, they're stretching this field out as long as they can. If they can catch a caution flag, and potentially could work out into their favor here. So I think that's the game plan for Jack Simpson, Drew King, and Tyler Chronister, is kind of run as far as you can. Try to just stay out there on the racetrack. Hope to catch a caution flag. Hope that it can work into your favor here, where that yellow flag comes out. You come down pit side. You don't give up as much track position, but you also end up with better tires than all the drivers back behind you. So for Jack Simpson, we'll have to wait and see if this plays out into the hands here of that Braille Art number 24 machine. Same with King and Chronister here this evening, but back behind them, that is the 11 rider, John Osborne, who will consume the race lead if it stays clean and green. And we have to see these front three make their way down pit side. Gage Wenzel sits in second, unfortunately just not been able to hang with that 11 ride. I don't know if the one-lap fresher tires is paying dividends for John Osborne, or what the deal is, but the 11 machine just looking absolutely stout right now late in this race. Gage and Dwayne Furtick just have not had anything for him. And a little farther back, you do see Matt Sisler and Adam Bounton rounding out what would be our top 5, as we do see Jack Simpson now down pit side. So Simpson makes his pit stop. Drew King will consume the race lead. I don't know how much farther these guys can go on fuel, but for King and Chronister, they're looking to keep it going. They're looking to keep it rolling out here on the Speedway. I don't know if they're running on fumes or, when they finally have to make this pit stop. But obviously, they're sticking with this game plan. They're going as far as they can. And for the 34 ride, I believe you can hear them slowing down. Here we go. We do see that U.S. Postal Service 34 ride finally make his way down pit side here and onto pit lane. So that will cycle everyone back around him. But it looks like for Tyler Chronister, at least going to go for another lap here for the 99 ride. So for Chronister, he's not done yet, man, but he's got to be careful because our race leaders are right there behind him. It may not make a difference here. Even if he can make it on fuel, if he can run the next 11 laps of racing action, I don't know if he's going to have anything to hold off this G-Shock number 11 machine of John Osborne. Are the drivers back behind him as we do see Dwayne Furtick work his way back around Gage Wenzel. Wenzel falls back into third here as he's going to got to move around a little bit, trying to figure out which lane he wants to go in to try to get around the one ride and try to battle here with Furtick for what will be that second position. As here we go, Chronister, unfortunately, finally has to make his way down pit road. He's coming in with a big head of steam right there, and unfortunately, it's too much steam. Black flag to the 99 ride, too fast entering pit road, and for Tyler Chronister, obviously, a tough pit stop there. I don't know if he was using the bathroom or what may have happened, but for the 99 ride, obviously that set him back, and now this black flag will set him even farther back out there on the Speedway. It was a valiant effort trying to run it as far as he did there to try and, try to catch a caution flag there. Just did not get lucky enough, and now that black flag is really going to hurt his chances here this evening. But for John Osborne, he's out in front. He's got the race lead, and he's got 0.8 of a second between himself and the 51 of Dwayne Furtick. So teammates sitting 1 and 2 out there on the Speedway is Gage Wenzel back in that third position. They're feeling all pretty confident here inside our top three. 2.6 seconds back, you do see Matt Sisler in the 31 ride. A second back, you see Adam Boughton, then Jeff Carson, Doug Denise there in 7th, Cedric Ingram back in 8th, Michael Carter rounding at our top 9, and Jonathan Cofield has fallen all the way back now into the 10th position on the Speedway. Richard Wolsifer, man, great run, great rebound here for the 56 ride, and he is just outside of our top 10 here. For Richard, he rolls in 11th. If he can pick up another spot or two, work his way back up inside the top 10, man, that would be an incredible comeback afternoon for that 56. Jaden Newson's back in 12th, Matt Walters there in 13th. Then we do see Mason Tucker, Anthony Ludi rounding out the top 15. Drew King's back in the 16th position with Michael Sheffield there in 17th, Brandon Warlick in 18th, Brian King, and Tyler Chronister rounding at our top 20. Ryan Chronister back in 21st with Dylan Huso there in 22nd, and then we did see Jack Simpson run into some issues here. Let's take a look back and see what happens to the 24 of Jack Simpson, as he's now scored back in 23rd and off this racetrack, as it looks like the 16 ride going to come up the racetrack right there, tag him in that left rear quarter panel, spins him down into the inside fence. Huge hit there for the 24 of Jack Simpson. Unfortunately, I think he knew this late in the race, his night is over. He takes it right down pit side and back down behind pit wall. And unfortunately for Simpson, he scored back in 23rd, and with Max Cost, Tommy Pulte still rolling out there, they may potentially be able to leapfrog him and move him back into about the 25th finishing position. And unfortunately, everyone else outside our top 25 looks like they're already done and out of this race. But out in front, leading the way, John Osborne, clicking these laps off in a quick hurry in this G-Shock 11 ride. Man, he's looked good the last couple races, and here tonight, again, able to make some great late race moves and put himself right into the picture frame here to put himself into, obviously winning position. And Dwayne Furtick right there behind him, his teammate, after winning last week at the Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway. For Dwayne Furtick, man, to come home even second place here tonight, man, backing up that win last week is definitely a statement out there on the racetrack, and having your teammate right there with you. For Osborne, he had his ups and downs throughout last week's race and still finished in third. So for this team, man, if they can come home with 2 podiums again this afternoon, instead of a first and third like last week, but a first and second this week, man. What a statement that would be for their team out there on the Speedway. Gage Wenzel's back in position number 3. I don't know if he's kind of just gone into savings mode because he's fallen a ton back here of Dwayne Furtick and of John Osborne, and unfortunately, he is nowhere close to their back bumper now. I mean, he's desperately going to need a caution flag if he wants to get another shot or opportunity to try to go after them for the race win. Matt Sisler there in 4th. Great run for him after a second place finish last week. Here he is up inside the top 4, and then Adam Bounton there rounding at our top 5. Jeff Carson, Doug Denise, Cedric Ingram, Michael Carter, and now Richard Wolsifer. Wolsifer's worked his way up and into 10th, man. Great run, great drive for the stance built. Simrap Market, number 56. He's able to avoid some slower lap traffic there as he works his way around Max Cost. Unfortunately, though, for Jonathan Cofield, late in this race, falls back into the 11th position here on the Speedway. But for John Osborne, clicks off another lap, and it's 3 laps left to go here in race number 3 on the season for the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. So 3 laps left. Do we see this stay clean and green? Do you guys think there's a late race caution flag, or potentially do we see an issue here for any of these drivers out in front? Do we see John Osborne open up the door and maybe allow Dwayne Furtick, his teammate, to get back into the battle for this race win and see that 51 go back-to-back here in the last 2 races into victory lane? I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time, as down across the line, 2 laps left to go. So for right now, for John Osborne and Dwayne Furtick, they're just hoping that they can keep it clean and green here, at least one more lap. They don't mind seeing a little bit of carnage, a little bit of chaos maybe on the final lap, but they want to make sure they see that white flag fly. They don't want a late race restart or any random pit strategy tires or something like that, and a green-white checkered potentially steal this win away from them. So for John Osborne and Dwayne Furtick, they're going to head down into 3 and out of corner number 4. They're going to have their fingers crossed as they head down and across the line. The white flag will be displayed, and this will be our final lap here this evening in the B-Main Podcast 200 as John Osborne takes that white flag here this afternoon. Dwayne Furtick right there in tow, back in second. They got a comfortable 3-second gap between themselves and that 36 of Gage Wenzel as John Osborne, nice and easy for the final time here this evening down the back straightaway here at Auto Club Speedway. And for the 11 ride of John Osborne, he'll round corner number 4 and drive it home as the 11 ride of Osborne will pick up the checkered flag here this evening in the B-Main Podcast 200 here in the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. So John Osborne gets it done and pulls the 11 ride up and in to victory lane here in the Hypershift Racing League. And I do believe his our third race of the season, and man, what a run, what a drive for him here in this one, man. What a performance out of the 11. Dwayne Furtick right there, as well as teammate coming home in second, backing up for both these drivers. An incredible run last week where we saw Dwayne pick up the win. John finished third. Now here tonight, John finishes first and Dwayne finishes in second. So these two off to a hot start here on the season. Gage Wenzel back there in position number 3, going to round out our podium with Matt Sisler, our second place runner last week, comes home 4th here this week. And Adam Bounton, our pole sitter, early race leader, led a lot of laps here tonight. Bounton comes home in position number 5. Jeff Carson, Doug Denise, Cedric Ingram, Michael Carter, and Richard Wolsifer rounding out our top 10, man. Give a round of applause there for Wolsifer as well. Wolsifer, man, what a drive, what a comeback there for the 56 machine. Just sticking with it, staying in the battle here, getting some of those caution flags, getting that car repaired, and here he is getting paid off of all that hard work and determination with a top 10 performance here this evening. Unfortunately, there's a lot of tore up race cars, a lot of drivers that did not see that checkered flag as they're going to get their other teammate here, that 15 machine, who unfortunately ran into some tough luck there during that last caution flag, and unfortunately for Brian King, ended up finishing back in the 19th position. position, but had a pretty solid run going here this evening as well. But here we go. They're going to keep on celebrating. They're going to keep on partying here on the front straightaway of Auto Club Speedway, and we'll get ready to pull our top three up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews going to come up here in just a second. We're going to get our race winner up here into the booth. Hey, John, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Oh, I am here.
John, man, what a run, what a drive for you here tonight, man. Take us back through this one, because obviously you got kind of tore up there, a little bit of contact early on in this race where you lost a ton of track position, but man, you just stuck with it. And again, another race where you battle your way towards the front of the field here, and late in it, man, you end up coming out of the pits with the, what would have been the race lead, obviously waiting for things to cycle through, but you find yourself in front of Gage Wenzel and Dwayne Furtick, and then you're just able to put that power down and put this 11 car into victory lane here with no stress there to your back bumper, with your teammate Dwayne right there behind you. You guys are able to just drive it home here, pull away from the rest of the field, and pick up back-to-back wins here for the Allegiant team here this evening.
Yeah, how about that, right? Man, honestly, I don't even know what to say right now. Oh man, I'm really excited. Yeah, the contact early, I saw the wreck happening, tried to slow up, and all of a sudden here comes the 19 across the track, and I had nowhere to go. And I hit him very hard, and I was like, I came on our chat, I was like, man, I think I'm done. I was like, that was some hard contact. And so I checked the RPMs down the back, and the motor seemed to be fine. I was like, well, the hood doesn't seem to be pushed up. Let's see how much damage we had. It was 40 seconds. And so, came back out. And honestly, after that, I was kind of reserved for a little bit. I had some more contact with somebody and pushed me into the infield, which honestly probably saved me from that huge wreck that happened in 3 and 4, that same lap. And so I was like, man, that was kind of a blessing to be shoved down there. But, right after that, I told the team, I was like, hey, I think the call here is last stop. Just put your fuel where you have a few extra laps. 2 tires is going to be the call here for sure. I had a perfect pit entry on that last stop, and was it the 16? I don't know if he downshifted too soon or what, but he put it in the wall, and I'm like, uh-oh, that wasn't good. And so, I thought Adam would have taken 2. I don't know if he had a bad pit stop or what happened there, but when I came out, I honestly did not know where I was going to cycle. I didn't know if the guy way, way ahead had pitted way early and didn't take any tires, and I didn't know about the 99. I had no idea I was about to be the leader. So when I came out, Dwayne passed me there. He's like, hey, I'm going to go to the high side. So I went to the high side too, because I did not want to let that 36 by. He is very hard to pass. And so I was going to let Dwayne go high and go low in 3 and 4, and he just let me by. I'm like, what happened? Are you okay? He's like, no, man, I just didn't want to fight you. I was like, no, we were going to aero block the high and the low side to hurt the 36. And I just drove off. Like man, it was fast. Man, I'm really excited. Honestly, didn't anticipate that one. But man, 1-2 finish for Legion. I hate what happened to Brian getting caught up in that wreck, but man, great night. Great night. I'm pumped.
Absolutely. You're pumped up, man. Big win. Obviously, a big comeback race as well, and backing up the solid performance from last week, not only for yourself, but for the team, with Dwayne picking up the win last Thursday, backing up with a second. You were third, now picking up the win here at Auto Club Speedway. Man, you guys are on a absolute roll and showing that you're going to be a force to be reckoned with here throughout this season.
Man, my ultimate goal is to be competitive and to have fun. And I always, the number one thing I say to my team, hey, I want everybody to hate us, not because we're jerks, just because we're faster than them. And, sometimes it works out that way and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm a realist in that sense. There's certain tracks where I have really good speed, and there's other tracks where I don't have it figured out as much. Auto Club is one of those that I have figured out. I needed to go green a little bit, and we got some green flag racing there at the end, and it really paid off. Yeah, I'm loving the momentum right now with Dwayne winning last week, me finishing third, and then me winning this week, him finishing second. And you get Brian up here, man. He's right there. He just had some unfortunate stuff happen, but man, what a win tonight. That's fun.
Yeah, it's always that much funner when you're able to jump up there and park yourself into victory lane. John, congratulations on the big win here tonight in the B Main Podcast 200 here at Auto Club Speedway, brother. Who'd you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Definitely want to thank the team. Man, I got to thank Dwayne. He's been such a good teammate. Brian is more than willing to listen. I know I said it last week. He's still new to iRacing, but he's picking it up really fast. He's very eager to learn, very eager to listen and to apply. And so definitely want to thank the both of them. We work very well together. You want to thank, Anthony for putting this league on. I'm having a lot of fun. Great group of guys, very aggressive, but it's a lot of fun. Thank you up here in the booth for what you do. Appreciate that. Want to give a big shout out to my dad. I hope he made it through this race. He's going out of town to Florida tomorrow to visit his brother. So I got to hang out with him today. We had some lunch, and man, I hope you're seeing this, Dad. I'm happy to send you out of the state with a win. Yeah, man. Hopefully there's more to come. I'm pretty excited. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely pumped up here this afternoon, and a well-deserved being pumped up here after a big win this afternoon. John, congratulations on getting the dub here in this one. We can't wait to see you guys back in action and see what you and your team have up your sleeve as we head into our fourth race of the regular season next Thursday night.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much. Hope you have a great night and a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, brother. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, John Osborne, man. What a run, what a drive there for John this afternoon. Great performance for him out there on the speedways. We'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher here this evening. Picked up the win last week, comes home in second. Let's get Dwayne up here into the booth. Hey, Dwayne, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Dwayne, man, another great run, another great race for you, and you back up last week's win with a solid second-place finish here this evening behind, luckily enough, your teammate here this afternoon. If you're going to lose to anybody, I'm sure you're happy that it was a teammate that you lost to here this evening. But, man, what a, statement. Being able to win last week and come home second here this week, showing a lot of speed out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, it was just an incredible race, and just really, really appreciate my teammates. John, huge congrats to him on the win, and Brian. He's a racer in real life, and he's new to iRacing, and he's picking it up incredibly fast. And so once he gets it all put together, he's going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work here, and obviously late in this race, a little teamwork there between yourself and John Osborne, trying to not only battle amongst each other, but trying to keep that 36 right at Gage Wenzel back there at bay as well. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like after that 5-10 laps, after you guys kind of came back out onto the racetrack and in these closing laps, you guys just started to pull farther and farther away from that 36. And for yourself, you're not only able to get back around Gage, but you're starting to reel in John there late in this race. I don't know if he was just taking it a little bit easier, trying not to make any mistakes out there, but it seemed like maybe you had a little bit better of a car there. If this was 105 laps, maybe the door would have been open for you to steal this win and make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, the Dell machine was totally lights out. Just incredible ride. Dirty air played a huge factor, but I think as far as the strategy, we sort of outplayed the field.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it here this evening as you guys back up a beautiful 1-3 finish last week with a 1-2 finish here this week. Dwayne, who'd you like to thank for a great run and great drive as he come home second here in the B Main Podcast 200 from Auto Club Speedway?
Again, thank my teammates. Shout out to my amazing wife. Thank you to the admins of the league. They do a wonderful job. Adam, Ludi, and thank you to the league sponsors. You know, IMB Store, JuicySpydr, Victory Fuel, 213 SimWear, incredible sponsors, Space Panda, AdminBoxx, just incredible. And thank you for all their support. And thank you for what you do in the booth.
Absolutely, brother. No better place to be on a Thursday night than up here in the booth and watching you guys duke it out there in battle here on Thursday nights. Dwayne, congratulations on the second place run, man. Hopefully, more and more trips up here into the broadcast booth. And with the way you guys have gotten this season started, I'm sure we're going to see you up here for many more conversations, brother. Enjoy the second place run, and hopefully, we'll see you right back up here again next Thursday.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Dwayne Furtick, as Dwayne comes home in position number 2 here this evening. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher. It's the 36 of Gage Wenzel. Hey, Gage, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Gage, man, another good run, another solid drive for you out there on the racetrack here tonight. But it seemed like late in this race, just battling there with John Osborne and Dwayne Furtick for the race lead as you guys were trying to slinks and dykes your way through the traffic. Unfortunately, it just seemed like, I don't know if your tires started to get burned up there a little bit or if they just found another gear there late in this race. But they were able to start to pull away from you. And I don't know if you just decided, hey, you know what, my best chances to be saving some tires, back out of it a little bit here, and hope to catch a late race caution flag where you'd have a little something left in the tank there to try to steal the win away from them here in this one. But other than that, man, pretty solid run for you. Not a lot of issues, not a lot of contact, but right up there inside the top 3 pretty much all evening long, battling here at the front of the field.
The car just drove like a pig last 30 laps. I don't know what the hell was wrong with it. It just shut off on me. Like even when I had fresh tires, it ran good for 2 laps and then just shut off. I don't know why. I'm usually one not to kill the tires, so I don't know. I hate this place. I was dreading this place. I know I run okay here, but I can't win here. I think I've never won a race here, and this place just angers me in every car and every configuration, every temperature. It's just, I don't know. I mean, when I had the lead, it's fine, but as soon as I hit traffic, it just drove like an absolute pig. And even when I was in clean air there, yeah, I was kind of scared Matt was going to catch me, but like I said, it was a clean night. I didn't get any X's. I led some laps. I don't think I led the most. Adam probably did, but still a good run.
Yeah, still a great run and a great finish for you here tonight in a track that you don't really like or kind of getting snake bitten from, to be able to back it up still with a podium and keep so many great fast drivers back there behind you. Obviously, some of those drivers running into issues, obviously getting tore up out there on the racetrack because there was quite a bit of carnage there in the first half of this race, and then the second half just goes clean and green there. So it didn't really give you too many opportunities to really run long runs, kind of figure out maybe, okay, the car starts to fall off there and maybe you need to make an adjustment down pit side and get something changed that makes it a little bit better there on the longer run. And unfortunately, you just never really had that opportunity until that final pit stop, and at that point in time you didn't know, so you couldn't get those changes or take a swing at it to try to figure something out.
It's the it don't matter what I have here, man. I do not like. I can't save tire. I can go slow as all could be, and I will still burn the right front. I mean, if it's other cars, it's the right rear. The next gen's the right front. But I don't know. I mean, this carnage was pretty. It was a little hectic. I saw the big old wreck behind me. I was glad I wasn't involved in that. That was chaos. But then I know Jack got wrecked. I'm gonna look at that. I heard he got kind of screwed over, so I'm not too pleased with that. I heard he got like dumped. But I don't know. I was like wanting a late race yellow, and I'm not, because like one bad restart and I lose like 3 spots or something. So I was okay with it. But Matt it's like he's seeking missile, man. He was charging at the end.
Yeah, he was flying there. He was trying to work his way up to your back bumper. Unfortunately, ran out of time, and for yourself, you're able to come home with a very solid third place run here this evening. Gage, who'd you like to thank for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack here in the B Main Podcast 200 from Auto Club Speedway?
Oh yeah, first and foremost, God above, Jesus Christ is so great and gracious every day I'm here, and it's a blessing. The sponsors on the hood, it's another great looking paint scheme every week. The Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwich ride was clean, and it was pretty fast all night, even though I'm not fast here. So it's good to see that. Tiny Toes on the car, 2410 Esports, and all my teammates. Most of them two of them got wrecked tonight. And Jaden got an okay finish in the top 15, so he came out pretty all right with a pretty big field. So, my family, my girlfriend watching, everyone that supports me, we're going to Vegas, so I like that place a lot more than this place. Still not like my favorite track, but I do like it more. I'm going to go catch a checkered flag finally. It's been too long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. It may be a gambling race next week from Las Vegas, as you just never know how those the fuel area kind of lines out there. Sometimes that's the winning move. Sometimes it's having that extra set of tires late in the race. It'll be another really, really interesting one. It'll be a lot of fun to see what you guys got in store for us again next Thursday night. But Gage, congrats on the third place run here this evening from Auto Club Speedway, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack.
Yep, I hope I'm up here and not 2 spots higher.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to it. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Gage Wenzel. Wenzel comes home in that third position, man. Solid run, solid drive there for that number 36 ride. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening as our third regular season race of the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR series comes to a close here from Auto Club Speedway. Huge shout out to this week's race sponsor, the B Main Podcast. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go check them out over on YouTube. I'm sure they're probably on Spotify and any of your other podcast listening areas. I'm sure you can find them there on YouTube, and they'll point you into the right direction on where else you can find them and listen in and tune in to what the B Main Podcast covers on a weekly basis. And here tonight, man, huge shout out to them for being on board for the B Main Podcast 200 here at Auto Club Speedway. But unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening, and we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love. And if you haven't already, it's not too late. Make sure you guys still hit that like button on the stream for us. Hit that subscribe button as well. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and we'll see you guys back in here in the next one, man. Thank you all for watching. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, what a drive.